Now what happened to the weed gang? We gave it up to these weaklings just to make their pockets fatter. And that's why black markets matter. Oh, that's that fire right there. Y'all check out that Black Markets Matter. Garth, Cultivator Hudson, and Underrated, formerly of Potluck, my homies right there. Be sure to check them out. The Black Markets Matter. Ooh, check that shit out on YouTube, boy. UnderratedWorld.com, BlackMarketsMatter.com. All right, let's get into the final day of this chessboard build. Get this thing finished off today. Can't wait. Let's go right ahead and get into clue number 3. This is your third and final clue for the name of this board. We just started off the final day of the build with a little wrap, Black Markets Matter style. The name of the board also has something to do with wrap. So we have African mahogany, hard maple, the name of a famous candy, and something to do with the rap game. All three of those things are directly related to the name of this board. Have you got it figured out now? Put your guesses in the comments below and let's see. Okay, so right back where we left off last night. I came down here last night like I said I was going to do. Oiled up both sides of the board a couple more times. It's beautiful. It's looking great. Let me show you. So we got both sides of the board looking stupendous. And also last night I started on sanding down a couple of our frame pieces with the inlays in it. I got this one done, threw a little Danish oil on it just because I was curious to see how nice it would look, and here we go. So as you can see there, it's looking real nice. So I'm going to get back to sanding the rest of these. I'm going to cut the camera off. I forgot to throw it on the charger last night. The battery's almost dead. So I'm going to cut it off, get back to sanding, go throw the battery on the charger, and then when I get done with this, the battery should be charged, and we'll start actually assembling the frame, getting it glued up, and getting the final touches on it, and getting this board finished up. So I'll get back to sanding, and I'm going to go put you on the charger. See you guys in a minute. Alright, we have all 4 of our frame pieces sanded down now. They're all looking beautiful. So all of our inlays came out great. They all look fantastic. Got them all sanded down just to an 80 grit. We'll do our final sanding on them later. So the next step with those is going to be cutting them to size and then gluing them up to the board. But before we do that, I actually decided there's one more thing I want to do to this board real quick. Just add another little touch to it. And what that is going to be is I'm going to run some little inlay lines across the surface of the board itself in all 4 directions. And we're going to end up with something like this. So we have our one going this way and our one going this way. And this is actually the same dimensions, depth, and the distance of what we're going to do on the board itself. So this is a 1/2 inch from either direction. And then we're going to put this inlay line in. I did this piece as a test piece to make sure everything was lined up and working properly. So we're going to do this on the surface of the board all the way around. I think that's going to just give it a cool another little touch just to elevate it a little bit more. Probably I think it's going to look really nice. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that real quick. So over here we have our table saw set up, and this is how we're going to put our grooves into our board. That's the word I was looking for a minute ago, grooves. So I have our rail here set up exactly a 1/2 inch from the center point of the blade tooth. And then, as you can see, it's so, let's see. You can see here the blade, well, you can't see it from that angle, but the blade is set to like maybe a 1/16 of an inch above the table. So that's going to be the depth, and then this is going to be our distance. So we're just going to run the board across this in all 4 directions, and hopefully, as long as the board is squared up properly, it'll come out looking nice. So let's go ahead and get it started. Alright, so that's my first time ever attempting that, obviously, because this is only my second chessboard. But I think it came out really nice. Let's have a look at it. So you can see we have our grooves in both directions here, going all the way around the board. And it gives us this really cool, it gives us this really cool little cross pattern here on all 4 corners. So a simple yet elegant way to make the board look even nicer. So I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Let's get back to work on the frame. Okay, so now the next step is going to be to set our little DIY router table up and route our edges on our framework. I want to get all of our edges routed first before I cut it down to size and get it glued up. Forgot about that step for a second. So we're going to set up our little router table, and we're going to get an edge set on every one of these, and what we're going to do is we're going to do just a little round over. And a round over basically means it's just going to have a little rounded in on the outside edge of it. So it's going to sit flush up against the board on the back side, and then on the front side it's going to have a little rounded edge. So I think that's going to look really nice. I also took some Danish oil and ran it into our grooves all around the board. So now the grooves match the board, and I think it looks really classy. So I'm going to get the router table set up and get that thing going, and then we'll come back for the glue up. Alright, all of our pieces are routed and cut. We have them mocked up, just sitting here. They're not glued in or anything. We just have them mocked up to make sure everything looks nice. Make sure all of our corners line up nicely. Make sure our patterns line up right. And I think this is going to look really nice. So the next step is going to be to get this glued up. And then after it's glued up, we're going to let it set overnight. And then tomorrow morning we'll come in, do our 120 and our 220 around the rails, and get this thing finished up. So it won't be completed today. It'll be completed all except for the final touches today. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting this glued up, and then we're going to probably call that a day. But I think this is looking amazing. What do you guys think? Okie dokie, folkies. Day whatever this is on the chessboard build. I went ahead last night after I got everything else done. I came back down here late last night and got the rest of this frame done. Got it smoothed down, got it sanded all the way to a 320 grit, put some Danish oil on the top of the board. All we're left with to do now is sand down the bottom of the board. I haven't sanded the bottom of the board yet because it would have been too noisy last night when I came back down here. So I got to sand the bottom of the board, put the feet on it, and that's pretty much it. But here's the top of the board with the Danish oil on it. The frame completely done. Matching up really nice. I really like the way the grooves came out. It looks really sweet. So, finish sanding the back of the board. Get it nice and smooth. Get it down to like a 220. Get a finish on it with some Danish oil. Then I'm going to let that cure for a few hours. I'm going to put another Danish oil on the top, let that cure for a couple hours, and then we'll actually put a clear coat on the top of it. And then I picked up some feet that we're going to put on it. So I actually went to Menards and grabbed a few things. Check out what I got. So if any of you have a keen eye during the process of this build, you will have noticed that while I was using the table saw, I was getting some burns on some of my wood, which means that the blade I'm using was dull or not good enough for the harder woods that I've been using, these maples and mahoganies and stuff. So went out and got a really nice blade, titanium 80 tooth blade. It's made for hardwoods, softwoods, and it's an 80 tooth blade. The one that's in there is only a 60 tooth blade, so this should be a much better blade for the table saw. Because you know when you buy the saw, they just give you the cheapest blade that they can give you. Got a 320 grit sanding block, so now I have a 120, a 220, and a 320 grit sanding blocks. Picked up this little package of feet, so we're going to be using these feet on the chessboards. So basically you screw this part on and this is a cap, so it looks nice and clean. So these are the feet we're going to be putting on the boards. And then since I'm going to be doing some cutting boards soon, I picked up some Butcher Block conditioner. And basically this is a finish for cutting boards and Butcher Blocks, so you don't put harsh chemicals on them. This is basically just beeswax and carnauba wax. So it's just some nice, clean, organic waxes. Well, I don't know about organic, but some nice waxes instead of using harsh chemicals on your cutting boards and food preparation surfaces. So picked up those few things. I'm gonna get this blade changed out on the table saw, and then, well, at some point, I don't really need to do it now. So just gonna get this sanded. Go ahead and get started on that. So see you when it's done. Alright, so we got this thing sanded down. It took me about 30-45 minutes. And we got the bottom sanded down perfectly smooth, all the way down to a 320. So the next step is going to be, ooh la la. So the next step is going to be get this mess all cleaned up. Then we'll get some Danish oil on it, let it cure for a little while, flip it over, get another coat of Danish oil on the top, let that cure for a few hours, and then we'll throw our clear coat on the top, let that cure overnight, and then we'll come back down and in the morning and throw our feet on it, and that's going to be a wrap. So I'm going to get this mess cleaned up, and we'll get some Danish oil on this bad boy and see what it looks like. when the bottom of the board looks as good as the top of the board. Am I right? Well, the top of the board looks a little bit nicer because of the inlay and the groove, but that's a damn pretty bottom of a board if I do say so myself. So we're gonna let this dry for a little while, come back down, put another coat on the top, and then we'll put our clear coat on the top, and then we'll get our feet on, and this thing's a wrap. So it's almost time for the name reveal. As soon as I get the feet on, I'm gonna tell you what the name of this board is, but I'm gonna go over the clues one more time. African mahogany, hard maple, same name as a popular candy, and has something to do with the rap game. Have you figured it out yet? Put your guesses in the comments below. We'll get this thing finished up. I'm just going to finish oiling it off camera, and then I'll come back on camera to put on the clear coat and the feet. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. For some reason the camera could record in there at some point when I was putting the feet on. I'm not sure what point. I haven't looked at the footage yet. But we got the feet on. Feet are on all the way around. Look nice. I really like them. So put the clear coat on. And then we're going to be ready to name this bad boy. Alright, so we got the board done. It's been a few days since my last update, so honestly I haven't looked at the footage yet. I can't exactly remember where I left off, but the board is finished. I wanted to finish this video with a cool little clip of me like carving the name into the board or dropping these little nameplates in that I'm having made, but I'm just not there yet. I even went and picked up some stickers and some stencils and was thinking about painting it on or stenciling it in, but it just didn't feel right to do it that way. It felt like I was going to be cheapening my board. So right now the board is not labeled or named on the board like I want it to be. I'm having some things that's in the works. It's just not there yet, and I didn't want to hold off making the last part of this video series any longer. It's been a few days. I'm already a couple days into a new project that you can see behind me here, and we'll go over that on the next video. But yeah, she's done. It's beautiful. Looks really nice. The clear coat on. The bottom came out really nice. We got our little feet on here. The frame came out super nice. So the board is finished. I'll show you a couple pictures at the end of the video. The board is finished. I'm super happy with the way it came out. It looks amazing. And in case you didn't get the board's name yet, if you haven't figured it out, the board's name is going to be M&M. Alright, so that's our candy, our tie to the rap industry, and mahogany and maple, M&M. So that's our name for this board, M&M. We're already started working on the next project, but you're gonna have to wait till the next video to see that. I will give you a hint. It's going to be another really badass chessboard. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot shorter, clear-cut, straight-to-the-point video than this one. But thank you so much for tuning in and watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, please like and subscribe and share the video for me. And we'll see you on the next project.